before we head into PRCA full-fledged action later tonight. We've got a lot of catching up to do, including a Kansas Cowboy Bulls night out, big ride scores, and a big paycheck.
And let's talk about a big-time loss in professional rodeo. The J-Bar J's great bucking horse, Straight Jacket. A stallion 9 times in the National Finals Rodeo. Bunch of offspring that'll be there for a lot of years. Passed away this week. Sparky Dreesen will join us from J-Bar J and tell us the story of that great horse, Straight Jacket.
And we will also get you caught up on results from last night at the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo. It was a rookie rally. It was an inaugural event, and the kids and the rest of the rookies put on a show.
From the home of the place they ride steel stallions comes a cowboy who rides stallions for 8 seconds.
Well, hi, everybody. Happy Friday. And if you are in the pretty large chunk of the country where the weather is about to get a little frightful, bundle up, and thanks for joining us. Stay inside, pour yourself some hot chocolate, and join Justin McKee and Steve Kenyon as we bring you Western Sports Roundup from Denver, Colorado to Fort Worth, Texas to Montana. And Sparky Dreesen and the J-Bar J Rodeo Company, we've got a lot to get to this afternoon.
Yes, we do, and there's no better place to be when it's cold than right here with the Cowboy Channel on. And right now, as we talk about Denver and Fort Worth, there's a lot going on between the two. Denver's getting ready to wrap up. Fort Worth, they have concluded all the pre-pro rodeo performances, and that includes the rookie rally last night. A brand new performance at the Fort Worth Stock Show featuring the rookies, Steve.
Yeah, and let's talk about rookies a little bit. Justin, you've heard me talk about this before. I've got a theory that the last 3 or 4 years, the rookie classes in the bareback riding and the PRCA have been among the best we've ever had a chance to see, and we might see another one taking shape in front of us right now. That's Daxton Field. That's Louie's grandson. That's Casey's nephew. He made an 86.5-point ride on Penthouse Pro Rodeo's horse, the Patch. That was worth $4,000. He's a #1 bareback riding rookie.
And that horse is a superstar with big numbers, and that kid's 19 and going straight to the top. That's my prediction. Here's another good one. This is Colin Fox. He's from Texas. He throws one down in 4 flat. And remember, in the men's event, if you win, you get invited to the Fort Worth Stock Show PRCA tournament. And that's exactly where he is headed. I texted Todd Fox. I said, how you related to this kid I watched on the rookie rally? He says, I'm not, but he's a good one. I wish I was, he said. Man, he gets the job done in a great way.
Boy, I can hear Todd Fox saying that. But let's keep the family connection going.
Okay.
On the head side, Jet Tober from Lipan, Texas. On the hillside, Cody Egaskiza from Uvalde. That is Manny Egaskiza's son. That's Dustin Egaskiza's nephew. And they stopped the clock in a time of 4.8, $4,165 each, and a chance to come back and rope in the big show.
Oh, man, they do, and I can't wait to watch them. They've got momentum on their side, that's for sure. Let's talk about some saddle bronc riding. And one of the biggest stories is Thane Elsher, because he has qualified for the rookie rally in saddle bronc riding as well as bull riding, and he put on a show. This is Painted Habitat, too, another great horse. This one's from Rafter G, the 21-year-old from Sturgis, South Dakota, #3 for rookie, has the highest score, and it was a big score, Steve.
Yeah, 87.5 points, and the judges loved this spur ride. They marked that spur ride 4 or 5 points above the horse. Thane Elsher won the bronc riding, was second in the bull riding. He won $7,700 last night.
How about the breakaway roper, J.C. Hammonds? What a way to start off her season. She has just been dominant, and she continues. My goodness, what a rating she has in the world standings at #1. She's the top rookie. She won at Cook's Garage there in Lubbock, and a huge amount of money at the WPRA Finals, and the hits just keep on coming.
Yeah, and so let's talk about that as you take a look at that run right there, and congratulations to all of the ladies in the breakaway. Lucy Richards, beautiful job done by her.
I may have misidentified our cowgirl. Thank you for picking that up.
So now let's talk about the tie-down roping. Here's a 19-year-old kid from Aquila, Texas named Ace Reese. And look at him, string, flank, tie, 8-7, $4,000 payout for Ace Reese. That was really smooth. He's been a champion in the UPRA. Now he's trying to be a champion in the Resist All Rookie of the Year race, and he made it work last night.
Yes, he did. And I don't know if there's anybody more excited about getting invited to the rodeo after that big win, too. That's where he's headed as we talk about barrel racing right now. Let's see if we can't get this girl right. Yeah, here is Jalen Netherland, and she is a thoroughbred horse trainer, and she can get him to run.
Second generation of her family. Her dad's a horse trainer as well. That's a horse called Slick, and you watch her stop the clock in a 16:65. And actually, she was a little bit wide on that first barrel, to be bluntly honest, and she still ends up winning the night. Good job, Jalen Netherland. Let's turn their attention to the bull riding. Braxton Weitzel, Walker, Louisiana, 85 points. Rafter G's Jelly Roll, and this bull is all there, and this bull ride is all there.
Yeah, that was after he had a solid score, was given a rewrite. He took the score off the board to try to best that, and he needed to because Thane Elsher was 80. There's no way he would have won and moved on into the pro rodeo, but he did with this rewrite. 86 points for the 18-year-old out of Louisiana.
Yeah, this was really an impressive night. As you take a look at all of the champions right there, Daxton Field, Colin Fox, Tober and Agaskiza, Thane Elsher, Lucy Richards, and Ace Reese, Jalen Netherland and Braxton Weitzel. A good night tonight. Braxton got a little bit of ground money out of it with that 4,700, and Thane Elsher was right behind him in the number 2 spot. And as I mentioned, Thane won $7,700 last night.
Yeah, that's some serious money. Counted in the world standings, too, in the rookie standings. So a lot of shaking going on for those rookies. Great night for them. And it's always a great night for us when we get to work with Katie Lou. Katie Lucas is down at Dickies Arena getting ready for that first PRCA performance. I'm getting ready with Jordan Jo Hollabaugh for the pre-show. That's coming up later. But right now, we got to talk about this weather because it is coming in and it is going to be potentially disastrous outside. What's it look like inside?
You know, Justin, we've obviously been anticipating the start of the tournament here at the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo, but as you mentioned, we're also anticipating quite a bit of weather this weekend. The National Weather Service reports about 1/4 to 1/2 inch of rain, and then additionally throughout the weekend, adding on with some sleet and snow that will be impacting us through Sunday. Obviously, that will impact our driving conditions for folks on the way into the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo, but both the city of Fort Worth and the operations crew here at the Dickies Arena have been working around the clock to make sure that it is safe for our fans that are coming in here for the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo. Inside the building, too, they've got you covered. There are 2 power lines that come into the building that they actually share with the UNT and Medical District here, so they're covered in that way. They've also got a full diesel generator to keep all the lights on in the event of a power outage and a backup battery system for the PA and messaging systems here if there is a power outage. Now, that is just plan B. The crew here is always thinking ahead, always preparing, but plan A, the show must go on. We are still committed to rodeoing here at the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo. The operations team is making sure all of the surfaces around the building are safe as fans enter the building, and during the rodeo, they're going to continue to treat those surfaces, so as you leave, it is also safe as well. The team here is extremely committed to putting on a great show for the fans that are watching both in person here at Dickies and on television as well, and I know our Cowboys, they are ready to compete. As I said, the show must go on, and we always joke here at the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo, but it is true. Every night feels like a Saturday night, so even if the weather is a little bit temperamental, we're still going to put on a great show here in Fort Worth.
Katie, great information, great report. Thank you. You stay warm over at the Dickies Arena, and we will hear from you as the weekend goes along. Katie Lucas joining us. You know, the thing about it is this, Justin. You've often said folks in the Western way of life are problem solvers.
Sure.
Okay, we got a problem coming in this weekend. It's supposed to get down to 4 degrees by Sunday.
That's right.
With a lot of moisture on the ground, and it's going to be frozen. And they are problem solvers over at Dickies Arena.
Yeah, the other thing about those of us living in agriculture is we don't panic either over that kind of stuff. All right, we got the faith, and we got faith, and we're going to return with a great story of a young bull rider from Kansas trying to get to his first Wrangler National Finals Rodeo, and he took a huge step this week in accomplishing that goal.
And Pro Rodeo lost a great bucking horse. Sparky Dreesen of the J-Bar J Rodeo Company will join us, and we will tell you the story of that horse, that stallion, that 9-time NFR selection. That's all coming up. Stay with us on Western Sports Roundup. Western Sports Roundup brought to you by Resistol, the official hat of Cowboys everywhere. We live it every day. Brought to you by Rock and Roll Denim. Live boldly. Live in Rock and Roll Denim.
And the third time was the charm. In the previous 2 attempts, that bull had bucked him off. But tonight, it is Byram who was on top.
You heard Anthony Lucia say the third time was a charm. That's a bull called Top Gun. Belongs to United Pro Rodeo. Third time Colton Byram had been on that bull, and this time he wins the battle as he rides Top Gun for 88.5 points to win Bulls Night Out at the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo. $30,000. He won $3,400 in the preliminary round, also riding a bull that had bucked him off before, and then came back and made a $26,400 ride in the championship round on Wednesday night. Let's quit telling you about it and let this young man talk about it. I am proud to tell you, folks, I am a big fan of Colton Byram, and I am rooting for him to just keep doing what he did in Fort Worth the entire rodeo season and get himself a spot in those yellow bucking chutes in December in Las Vegas. Colton, congratulations and welcome. You had a chance to watch it back right there. There are moments in an athlete's career that are defining moments. Was that one of them for you, winning that event in Fort Worth the other night?
Oh, for sure, Steve, man. It's one of them deals that gives you kind of the chills, and you kind of like smack yourself in the face a little bit, and you're like, man, is this a dream or something? But yeah, dang sure a defining deal in my career, and I was lucky enough to get it done, and finally got him back for once.
So a lot of things had to line up for you to win Fort Worth, because you were not originally on the list of bull riders. Somebody else had to doctor release out, and that got you in. So a lot of things had to line up to make this happen, right?
Oh yeah. I was the first alternate for the callbacks, and I seen there was a doctor release. Luke Massey had a doctor release, and I was the first guy in. I seen it, what was it, Sunday or Monday morning, and I called first thing. I said, hey, I'll take that spot. And before they ever could call me, I called them. So I got the spot and, drew some really good bulls and, made my opportunity the most of it and got it done and did my job the best I could.
This is Tuesday night, round one. This is a bull called Misunderstood. This is another bull that had bucked you off the first time you got on this bull. 87 points. That was a good night of bull riding. I'm going to ask you the same question twice, or I'm going to ask you this question once and you can answer it twice. What did you learn the first time around that you got on this bull that helped you ride him this time?
I'll tell you what, Steve, that's one of them bulls that you can't think too much. That bull can be either out in the door around the right, bucking real hard, or he could take a couple out there and be real tricky like he was and travel out there and bring around the left. It's just one of them bulls that you can't set no traps for, because he'll dang sure make you pay for it. And I dang sure stayed moving and stuck to him. So it all worked out and like it should have. So
for those of us that don't ride bulls for a living, Colton, what's that sensation like when a bull starts drifting and traveling? Is that enhance the degree of difficulty at all on them? If they stay in one spot, that's one thing, but you're having to move your body with them. How does that affect you, or does it at all?
A bull that's got a lot of timing and is kind of in one spot up and down, you can get in good timing with those bulls. But a bull that's traveling out there like that, you got to try real hard, and you got to stay moving and stay loose and keep moving forward, because, as soon as you relax or get lazy for one jump, those bulls right there will buck you off pretty fast. So it's just one of them bulls you got to stay moving and stay shuffling and stay hustling. And you can do that the whole time, your odds are a heck of a lot better.
Am I right as I look at this that there were a couple of times you really had to shove that inside leg back down?
You dang right. That sucker right around there, he wanted me off in the well, and I just looked out the whole time. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think I seen him the whole time. I was looking out so hard trying not to go off in there. And, man, that was the only way I think I got around him, just staying forward and staying loose and just kept hustling, man. And I feel like that's the name of the game, and it all worked out.
So that was an 87. That got you into the championship round. That got you into the top 10 on Wednesday night. You come back in the top 10 on Wednesday night. You get on this bull called Top Gun. There were 2 qualified rides. Mason Moody had been 88 just before you. You jump out, you're 88.5. This bull had bucked you off twice.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was looking at the short round draw going down through there, and I was like, Top Gun. I was like, all right, this would be a good time to get him back. And Creek, one of my good buddies, he rode him over the summer, and that was the only video I watched. I watched how he rode him. He stayed loose, you know, and he just told me, he said, he ain't strong enough, just go at this sucker at 110 mile an hour. And boy, that's what I did. Ran in my hand in there, stayed calm, and did what I could do, and man, it worked out real well.
When they stay right there in the latch like that, and this one didn't have any kind of a fade. This was a completely different style of bucking bull than the first one we watched, wasn't it?
Yes, yes, and that bull, you know, it's one of them bulls you can override him because you know you think he's like spinning so fast and getting after it, which he is, but he's one of them bulls that can get out underneath you because he is a little bit smaller. But you know, you just another one of them bulls. You just gotta stay hustling, moving. He ain't strong enough to like pull you down or nothing, but he can get out underneath you if you get lazy, and you just kind of have to just go at him and trust your ability of what you can do.
Are you having to work on this ride to keep your riding arm from getting straight?
Yes, yes. That's one of them bulls that you want to like really pump in there, and you think he's really going a lot. You just kind of have to let him buck underneath you and just make that move over there. Just be real calm and easy, and you know, he rides like a Cadillac if you do that. I figured out the second time. I've been on him enough. It was about my turn to get him back.
Colton has been a top 30, top 35 money winner consistently. And you and I talked about this. I called you after the rodeo or after the bull riding the other night, and we talked for a minute. You've had some injury issues. All bull riders do that have gotten in your way of really, I think, achieving your full potential. 39th in the world last year, 34th, 30th in 2022. But when you're healthy, Colton, it's good. You told me you are fighting with the shoulder issue right now. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I got a little bit of a labrum tear in my shoulder, and you know, I'm you know, a guy can't make no money sitting on the sidelines, and I've been sitting on the sidelines enough for them injuries, and I got with some doctors, and they're like, you know, if you can keep it together, and you know, there's not that big of a tear, you know, it's going to bother you a little bit, but you know, that's bull riding. At the end of the day, you're going to have bumps and bruises along the way, and you just got to learn to overcome that kind of stuff. And you know, my shoulder doesn't feel too bad. I just, you know, tape it down, brace it down real good, and I'm just going to trust my ability, what I can do, and, you know, put my faith in the Lord's hands, and whatever happens is what's going to happen. So, and, you know, it dang sure crosses my mind, you know, should I got it fixed, shouldn't I, you know, but I feel like I'm riding just as good as I can if it was fixed, so I'm just going to keep plugging along.
Which arm, Colton? Is it your free arm or your riding arm?
My riding shoulder, which is better, so because if it was your free arm, you couldn't get your arm over your head. So I'm dang sure glad it's my riding arm, but it's feeling pretty good, honestly. I've been doing a lot of good rehab with it, and it's getting a lot stronger. So I trust that everything's gonna be good.
So again, for those of us that don't ride bulls for a living, it sounds weird to say it's better that it's on the arm that I'm holding on with as opposed to the free arm, the one that I'm balancing with. But that free arm is the key to your success, correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah, you know, if your free arm was messed up or something, you know, you can't move it like you want, like where you want to be. You know, your free arm's kind of your counterbalance of like how your body works on top of a bull. You know, if your free arm's, you know, messed up, you know, you might not be able to pump it over your head to get around a corner or something, you know, but with my shoulder, my riding shoulder, I can keep it down, tape it down, you know, I'm just holding on with it. And I think it's way better deal, but.
So real quick before I let you go, you're traveling with Creek Young right now. You guys are headed off to another bull riding. You'll be back in Fort Worth next week. How busy are you going to be going forward?
We're gonna be pretty busy. Hopefully, we're gonna keep our rodeo. We're gonna try to get our count in this year, and you know, get the full 126 and rodeo pretty hard, and you know, keep this train rolling. You know, as long as we can stay healthy and all that stuff. But we're gonna really try to get after him this year and make him yellow buck and shoots.
I don't know if you've thought about it in these terms. I looked at the money you won the other day, and I was thinking, all right, so I don't remember exactly what it took to get into the NFR last year, but $30,000 in one night, that's about a quarter of it, I think. So if you're thinking, I want to chip in a chair in those yellow buck and shoots in December, how about that for all kinds of metaphors in one shot? You'd made a big move, Colton. I just want you to stay healthy, and I just want you to keep riding well, and I just want you and your traveling partner, Creek Young, both to keep winning. Thank you for your time, and congratulations on what had to have been maybe the biggest win of your career to this point in Fort Worth the other night.
I appreciate it, Steven. Thanks for everything, buddy.
Thanks, Colton. Colton Byram joining us. He is the champion of Bulls Night Out in Fort Worth. What's going on in Denver? Well, the National Western Stock Show and Rodeo, they're counting it down to Championship Sunday. We'll bring you up to date coming up. Thanks for joining us on Western Sports Roundup.
National Western Stock Show and Rodeo is winding down, getting closer to the championship round on Sunday here on the Cowboy Channel. And 3 performances of semifinals tomorrow. In the meantime, we got to get you caught up because there are 8 total brackets. And bracket number 7, we haven't spent enough time getting everybody caught up on round number 7. Now, it concluded last night, and we're going to get you caught up right now. Let's go to the Bareback Riding to start things off. And man, oh man, we had some good things to say about this guy, Sam Peterson, the reserve world champion.
Yeah, and the reigning NFR aggregate champion as well. And you see him at 160.5 on 2 head. He was not a big score on his first one. He was 78.5. He came back 82.5 on his second one. That's enough to put him in the #1 spot coming out of the bracket, advance him on, and now he gets a shot at a clean slate semifinal, and then he gets a shot at a clean slate championship round. I think Sam Peterson's dangerous in performances and events like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to like about him. Let's talk about Eli Lord, and for the last 6 years in a row, he's finished in the top 40. He's trying to get to that elusive first NFR. The 2-time Cheyenne champion throws down in 9.7. On to South Dakota's proud of him. He's 32, and this could be the year.
Kind of the same thing Sam Peterson did, Justin. He was 5'7" on his first one, came back 4 flat on his second one. That secured him the #1 spot coming out of the bracket and got him that spot in the semifinals. One of those 3 performances tomorrow.
All right, let's talk about a couple of guys who've been at the NFR in the team roping 4 times for Colton Schmidt as well as Chase Tryon coming together. They got some magic, in my opinion.
Yeah.
These guys are top 4 right now of this new season. Of course, Schmidt was top 4 after last year's season. They continue to make magic in Denver.
Colton Schmidt just had the best season of his rodeo career last year, particularly that performance at the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. It's been a few years since Chase Tryon's been there, but let's see. 2021 was the last time Chase roped in the Yellow Arena in Las Vegas.
Now, Schmidt had $220,000 at the NFR. Let's go to Saddle Bronc Riding. And I'd like you to meet Drayton Valley, Alberta's Tyrell Roberts, the 24-year-old qualifier, as he is trying to make a name for himself and advance to the semifinals.
Yeah, and this is a really good way to do it. 82 and 82.5 on 2 horses in 2 performances yesterday. 164.5 on 2 moves him on into the semifinals and a chance to make some real big magic in Denver. Now let's talk about the tie-down roping. We watched this young man for 10 nights at the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo last December. Tom Krause out of Missouri, 19.2 on 2 head, the Great Lakes Circuit champion, and boy, he's got an upside that is unlimited.
And he is moving in the top 10 again this early season in 2026. Congratulations to the Missouri man as he continues to work his way.
Yeah.
That was a blue-collar run into the semifinals.
Now let's talk about Jordan Driver in the barrel race. This is the horse she calls Judge. She was 14.91. There have not been very many runs under 15 seconds at the National Western. This is one of them that you're watching right here. This is her go-round #1 run. A little slower in round 2, 15 and 12. But Jordan Driver, who remember got off to that really strong start last year, we all thought probably in April and May she was going to the NFR. Slacked off a little bit in the summertime. Back solid in Denver this year. Let's hope that she can keep it going.
Yeah, I think they've got everything lined up. Last year they won Salinas as well. Let's go to the bull riding, and here comes the Cowboy. Sage Vance, he's going to stick it on 2, 170 points on a pair of them. Don't matter which way that bull's going to twist. He's got an answer for that question.
Yeah, 87 and 83. Sage Vance is 23 years old from Sidney, Iowa. He won a go-round at the Great Lakes Circuit Finals Rodeo. Qualified, he's one of the top 5 permit holders right now in the PRCA. But look at the statement he just made in Denver.
There you go. We got them stacked up so far. This is bracket 7 advancers. Again, 3 performances tomorrow. They are moving on. Here's the next page. The tie-down, barrel racing, and bull riding, the rest of the set. And Stetson Wright, of course, advancing in the bull riding. Now, let's talk about bracket number 8, round 1. We've got round 2 coming up here in just a little bit.
Yeah, and there were some big scores and there were some fast times. Garrett Chabot got on a horse he's been on before, made an 84-point ride. Ty Kipp, the reigning champion in Cheyenne. I love to watch his celebration dances when he gets done doing something good. He was 3-7. Caleb Driggers and Junior Negata, that 4-5. That's that ties for the fastest time of the rodeo. Coleman Schallbetter, the Colorado favorite, 85 points. He's top 15 in the world right now. You got the world champion Riley Webb, the Canadian finalist Blake Molly, and Parker Bretting, the 4-time NFR qualifier, the veteran out of Montana, at 83.5.
He still got game.
He still got it. He made a great ride today. That bull went both ways, and he couldn't shake him.
Stick around. One of the greatest sires in the bucking horse world surprisingly passes away this week. His owner is Sparky Dreesen with J Rodeo Company. He'll tell us the story when we come back. J Rodeo Company, and earlier this week we reported that he passed away unexpectedly at 16 years old, 9 times to the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo, and not only that, the offspring that he has had during his career as he continues to get selected for the NFR has been numerous. We'll get into some of those numbers a little bit later. Right now, we'd like to bring into the show Sparky Dreesen up in Montana. He's the owner of Straight Jacket, sired by the legendary Night Jacket. First of all, Sparky, our condolences on a huge loss, but what an amazing impact Straight Jacket has been to the bucking horse world and to the rodeo world, and really inching right up there with his daddy, and as far as I'm concerned, Night Jacket.
Yeah, he's been a pretty legendary horse for us to have. We're just really blessed to get to spend 16 years with him. Not a lot of people get to be around an athlete like that.
You know, Sparky, he was 16 years old, a lot of trips to the NFR. He probably had a lot left. You were telling Justin and I before we started, you really don't know what happened, some kind of a accident on the ranch that took him from you. But his legacy, talk about how that is going to continue to live on. We had an extended conversation before we started this interview about all the science that goes into building this incredible bucking horse program you guys have. There's a look at the data, there's a look at the statistics, but this legacy for Straight Jacket is going to live on for a lot of years, isn't it?
Yeah, it will. You know, we're pretty blessed. We have, I think it's like 350 straws of semen of his that we had collected. We had him collected, it was maybe 3 years ago, the first time we had him collected. We're just kind of trying to prepare in case something like this would happen. And it worked out pretty good, I guess. I'm sure glad we had it done.
I would love to get into the technology, and hopefully we can circle back there, but I want to circle back the other way, and I know there's a lot of fans out there that are wondering, okay, now what exactly happened? So kind of tell him who his roommates were out in that pasture and what you suspect may have happened.
Well, you know, we keep all of our studs together in a pasture when it's not breeding season, and you know, they're kind of buddies and hang out together, and they're out in a section pasture, and we go over there once a day and grain them. And when they checked, you know, from the one day to the next day, he had a broken leg, and you know, we're not sure what happened, whether he got kicked. You know, the weather was nice out for Montana. I'm sure they, you know, when the weather's nice out, when it has been cold, they play and goof around, and maybe that's what happened. We're not real sure.
Well, when those stallions go to play, and it can sometimes get pretty rough, like a bunch of teenage boys that are just going to wrestle around sometimes. It can get a little rough. Yeah. But anyway, okay. Well, thank you for updating us on that.
Sparky, let me ask.
Go ahead. We buried him on the ranch here. His buddy, his best buddy was Bugs Bunny, that passed away here a few years ago, and we buried him alongside of him.
You As a stock contractor, I don't know how many animals are under your care, Sparky. The number is massive. Your hay bill and your vet bill and things like that are pretty ginormous. But you develop a relationship with these animals, and that's something that, you know, Justin and I, both on television and when we're announcing a rodeo, we try to explain as much as we can, but I don't know that we're ever able to sufficiently tell the story. So I'm going to ask you to tell the story. What is your relationship like with these horses, with these animals, with these bucking horses that you are so proud of?
Well, it's a little bit like a child-father relationship. You know, really what we're trying to do is not get in these horses' way, and we're trying to get them led down the correct path. And, you know, they've got the genetics. We just got to make sure that the genetics come out, and that's in the care of them is how you get that to happen.
Well, it's amazing to see the passion that you and others like you in the rodeo business have for these animals. And you live so they can live a great life, and they have the genetics to do what they were born to do, and that's buck. I mean, they're born to do that. But I want to get to that, some of that technology. You mentioned the straws that you collected from him, and you're also doing some other high-tech stuff that people may not be aware of. Tell us about the advancing technology in raising bucking horses you're utilizing.
Well, you know, they've been doing it in the cutting horse business now for quite a few years. It's called ICSI. It's like IBF in cattle. It's a little more difficult in the horses and quite a bit more expensive in the horses. But what we're doing is we're taking the follicles out of them mares and then growing them into eggs in a petri dish. And then they take one sperm cell and inject that into that egg and then grow it into an embryo and then take it and put it into recip mares. For example, next spring, we'll have 3 full sisters to straight moonshine. You know, they even can sex these, they sex the sperm for us so we can get the sex of the animal you want. I mean, there's a lot of technology goes in this. Is it expensive? Yes, it is. Is it worth it in the long run? Absolutely.
9-time NFR horse straight jacket. You lost him, sadly, but his legacy will live on. And that's a good news, both for you, Sparky, as a stock contractor, and for all of us as fans of great bucking horses. And we appreciate you taking the time to tell us about that. I want to change the subject, if I might. And I want to ask you about something that you told Justin and I about that is going to be new on the horizon in conjunction with the Nile Pro Rodeo that happens in October in Billings, Montana in this coming October. So it'll count toward the 2027 NFR. The biggest added money bareback riding we've ever seen, I think, is coming to Billings. Tell us about it.
Yes, and just so we have clarity, the Nile Rodeo a year ago moved to August. Okay, so the rodeo is in August now for the Nile. And last year they didn't have a rodeo or a bareback riding or anything. And this year, David Allen, who is the head of the Nile now, has brought forth $100,000 added money for a bareback riding in Billings the 3rd weekend in October. The biggest one that has went on in the PRCA before that, a standalone, is $60,000 at Darby. So it'll be really exciting to see all of these top bareback riders 2 days in a row in Billings.
And not only that, win big money. Hey, Sparky, we got to go. I just need a one-word question, though. I got to know, what horse is going to kind of step into the role of straight jacket? What stallion can we be looking for?
Well, we've got 5 young stallions out of him. There's a couple of them that I really got my eye on. One is out of Blessed Assurance, which is a 10-time NFR bareback horse. And the other is out of Painted Commotion. If you can see, there's a picture of Lefty Holman on her in the background at the NFR. So I would say one of them two. It'll take 4 or 5 years to know which one is the producer. Meanwhile, we'll be using the semen out of Straight Jacket to keep things going.
Yeah, high percentage rate there of success. All right, Sparky, thank you so much for joining us. Our best to all of your family on this great loss of a legendary, one of the most outstanding sires of bucking horses that we've ever seen, Straight Jacket. So we'll follow up later. Thanks, Sparky.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
All right, stick around when we come back. We're going to catch up on some PBR team news and how it's tied to Teton Ridge, owners of the Cowboy Channel. They actually own the Arizona Ridge Riders, and Casey Lane is their general manager. Picked up an award this week, and we'll catch you up when we come back.
This social media post from the Arizona Ridge Riders talking about having the best front office in the professional bull riders in the team series. I guess they proved it. Casey Lane, the general manager of the year, as the franchise put together a franchise best 4th place finish in 2025. And that is the opportunity that we have today to join the general manager of the year in the PBR team series. Casey Lane joins us from the Arizona Ridge Riders. Welcome to frigid Fort Worth, Texas. You could be in Arizona right now where the sun is shining, but you're here where we're about to have an ice storm. Welcome.
Yeah. Well, I'm here for a couple reasons. I'm happy to be here to see you. Really proud of being named GM of the year and taking the opportunity to come here. I'm also, to believe it or not, as much rodeo as I've consumed in my life, I'm here for the first ever time to go to a performance of the Fort Worth Stock Show. So.
You're going to love it. You're going to love it.
I'm really excited about it.
There's a reason they say this thing is legendary. It is. Congratulations on the General Manager of the Year award.
Thank you. Thank you.
Your reaction when you found out about that?
Man, I couldn't be more proud of that as an honor because it's something that's voted on by the other GMs in the league, and we've all worked so hard together. It's sort of a frenemies sort of a group that we have because on the dirt we compete against each other, and when it comes to rolling up our sleeves and building this brand new property with the league, we all sort of work together.
The team series is 4 years old, 5 years old? How old
4
is it?
years old.
4 years old.
The fourth.
So this will be the 5th season coming up.
Yep.
So you just made a really interesting comment about the general managers of the team series working together. I mean, you're competing with one another, but working together to help to build this property. And I suspect if I was sitting here talking to the GM of the Texas Rangers or the Dallas Cowboys, they might not be talking about working side by side with the Houston Astros or the Pittsburgh Steelers or whomever. But it really, I had never thought of it in those terms, Casey, but I'm sure that it is important for all of you to be pulling in the same direction for the team series to continue to grow.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, we look at teams as a real opportunity to bring people from the outside world into the funnel of Western sports.
Right.
There's a lot of traditionalists that have been sort of late to come to teams and say, oh yeah, we like this. But when you bring somebody from the outside world, from a sports fan to a team's event, they immediately understand what the stakes are and what's happening. They don't have to know why that was an 89-point bull ride. All they have to know is the team they're rooting for has 3 bulls ridden, and the team they're rooting against has 4 bulls ridden, and if their team doesn't ride another bull, they ain't got a chance.
Yeah, you know, and that's one of the things, and this is the rodeo announcer in me talking, one of the things that we really challenge ourselves to do in the Western way of life. Face it, everybody grew up shooting a basketball or hitting a baseball or kicking a football. Everybody did not grow up riding a bull. Yeah. And so we have to make sure that our fans understand these sports. And when you break it down that simply, okay, my team rode 4, your team rode 3, I win. Makes it pretty easy.
Yeah, and we work as GMs along with the league. I mean, PBR created this property, sold these first original franchises. We've since expanded once to now 10 teams.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're building the plane and flying it at the same time, right? There's new situations that come up, whether they be rules on the dirt or ways that we're creating new income opportunities for the teams and the riders. Like those things are all happening in real time.
You haven't, the Ridge Riders have not won a team's title yet.
We have not.
But you have been consistent performers at the PBR team's finals in each of the 4 years of the series, right?
Yeah, that's correct. So this is the best regular season finish. So we finished 4th in the regular season this year. We have, in 3 of the 4 years, made it to the final Sunday, one time finishing 2nd, and I think 2 other times, including this year, finishing 4th. We lost this year in a very dramatic fashion.
Right.
Again, pure sports drama on that final Sunday at the PBR Team Championship. We tied with Carolina in the semifinal game and went into extra outs and then had a reride, and all these things sort of wrapped up to where we ended up losing that quarterfinal game, or that semifinal game, sorry, to Carolina. They moved on and won the championship.
That had to be an as the stomach churns moment.
Oh, it's gut-wrenching. I can promise you. To be in our locker room after that, after all that, Colby and Mo and the guys that sort of put out on the dirt, the guys that are tying their hand in the rope, obviously are the real heroes. But
yeah.
it was gut-wrenching.
So what's it going to take to make the next step?
Man, we were so close last year. We keep our core group together. We've had essentially the same core 3 guys since the first year.
Yeah.
Luciano was our very first ever pick. He's still on the team. Eduardo Aparecido, I think, was our 3rd round pick, still on the team. And then Keyshawn, who we actually picked up as a free agent in the very first year. Right. Those 3 guys are still the core of our roster. This year we had a kid that actually our team, when they were our team on the American side of Teton Ridge, when they were in Bajetos last year, they found this kid who had gone undrafted the previous year, Everton Natan da Silva. We picked him up as a free agent, but this was really his rookie year. And then we had a couple other rookies and young kids that we plugged in, and that's what we'll do again next year. We'll start with those 3 guys, and we'll build it as we go. You
mentioned 2 names that I think need to get some credit, and those are the 2 other guys that are at the core of your front office. Colby.
Yep.
Colby Yates. Mo Brinks Plenty. Tell me about those 2 guys and what they bring to the Ridge Riders.
Well, Colby and I have known each other since I worked for PBR and he was a rider, and then through his broadcast career. And I trust him implicitly. I stay out of the bull riding piece, right? I grew up a timed event cowboy. I've been around this my whole life. I worked for the PBR for 20 years, but I never tied my hand in the rope. So I never tell anybody how they should do it, what they should do. That's what Colby and Mo are for, right? Yeah. Mo was a former bull rider, but really and Colby I think Colby's the best coach in the league. I've thought that since day one. And he's served us well. He's great both at the analytics of figuring out which bulls go with which guy, and at the mental game of keeping these guys on their game.
Mo has a unique role with your roster, with your team.
Yeah, so Mo is, I would say, the world's foremost expert at bringing cultures together. Mo has spent his entire life building, when you think about the various places that all Native American tribes come from,
right?
Mo has figured out how to get all those people to sort of at least understand each other's voice, and he's worked with tribes across the country. Same thing in our locker room. We've got guys from Brazil, guys from Canada, guys that are Native American, guys from, that are U.S. born, regular, Joe Cowboy. And even the guys from Brazil, they don't all come from the same part of Brazil. Yep. Brazil's the size of the U.S. Some guys are from up by the rainforest. Some guys are in São Paulo, where, bull riding is the most popular sport in the country. Mo has the ability to take people's point of view and sort of get them all centered and on the same page.
I would just love to spend a couple of days inside the front office of your team and some of the other teams, and folks, I think, would be really interested in finding out the inner workings of what makes these teams work. You have been in the Final Four 3 out of 4 years. This next year, we need to kick it up another notch.
This is the year. It really feels like last year felt like destiny. And we fell a little bit short, but I have 1,000% confidence in our group, in our guys, in Colby and Mo. in Hanan, who's our physical trainer, and all the people that we have around us on our team to bring it home this year.
Casey Lane, the Ridge Riders General Manager and the PBR team's General Manager of the Year, joining us on Western Sports Roundup. Congratulations.
Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir, for your time. It's always a pleasure. We're going to take some time, and when we come back, let's talk about that rodeo performance he's going to tonight. It's the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo. We'll take a preview coming up because this thing is legendary. It's on the way on Western Sports Roundup.